No intro. It was nut crunch time. The Team USA, Team USA somehow. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
I wanted to wait to tell you this, Jerry. I had the thumbnail already done. The thumbnail said Serbia like upsets USA reaction. Like that's. Let's just get into it. If you don't know Jerry by now, that's on you. Lock in. Jerry, what's your first initial reactions off of that game?
And for one, to react to what you just said, I'm glad that you get to throw that thumbnail in the fucking trash. That's
Yeah,
number one.
absolutely.
Two, I think it's ridiculous that the entire game, literally, I'm just watching. I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, I don't like we talked about a little bit before we started recording. I agree with you. I think this might have been the best game that I've possibly ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it definitely gave me bad, really bad, like anxiety of what happened in 2004 when I
Yep.
was all of 7 years old, and I remember crying whenever I
Yeah.
seen them lose
Yeah.
to Argentina or whatever it was, and then oh my god, like even now, I don't even think I could put words together in a sentence to tell you how I feel right now.
Absolutely.
It's insane. I still have no words. I'm gonna let you go. Maybe I can gather my thoughts here.
Yeah. So, I mean, coming into this game, right? If you bet on this game, that's on you. Like, you got to know better. But first quarter, Stephen Curry hits the first shot of the game. And like I said from the beginning, this is like complete raw reactions from Jerry and I. We're going to try and go quarter by quarter, but then also hit overarching subjects and topics. So, just stick with us because we're going through it right now. But first quarter, Steph hits the first shot of the game. And I'm like, okay, this might be a Steph game.
Yeah,
And he hits another one. I'm like, okay, okay. He hits one in the corner right in front of the Team USA bench, turns around before the shot goes in. And I'm like, if Steph is doing this 3 minutes into the game, oh, he's on 10. Oh, it's a wrap. And when you have that,
absolutely.
it's awesome. But I feel like the USA offense, once he started getting hot, realized, or they tried to say, you know what? Let's just feed Steph. And you can't do that. He's gotta, even though he's cooking, you can't just force feed him the ball, man.
No, there's no need to, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
have all these other future Hall of Famers, all these MVPs, all these All Stars that if everybody's rolling is when you're more of a threat, not with one guy getting 35 plus. Like that's honestly, when it comes down to USA basketball, that's not how you want to win games if you're Steve Kerr and the rest of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Like it takes a Swiss Army knife kind of performances from each and every guy. And we saw that out of LeBron who finished with the triple double. And I feel like that might be his first Olympic triple double. I could
You
be
got a
tripping,
triple
but
dub? You got a triple dub?
he got a triple double. Like
Sheesh. Okay.
that just goes to show you that
Yeah.
even at 39 years old, I could still be the best player on the floor, but I'm guarding Jokic in pick and roll situation. I'm getting switched on to Jokic and holding my own. Like, oh my gosh. And like, you said we're going quarter by quarter here. I think it's important to feed off of the crowd, like who's
Yeah.
in attendance.
Oh
You
my
got
gosh.
Carmelo
Yeah.
Anthony, sideline, sitting
Dog.
beside Dirk. Like,
They panned to Travis Scott, they panned to Michael Rubin, they panned to Sue Bird. Everybody is there. Every Olympian, every star is in Paris for this game, right? Um, it kind of just shows too how like basketball supersedes like everything else, man. Like when you think about track and field and all these sports, basketball is the one that is really a global game at this point. But I want to keep going. Anthony Edwards,
for sure.
first quarter, two bad turnovers, real
Yeah.
bad turnovers. Serbia gets out and runs, they get threes. And like you said before we started taping, Serbia could not miss from three in the first
Five
half.
threes a quarter. Five threes a quarter. Like literally in the first, second,
Insane.
and third, they hit 15 threes. Hey, salute to this. I don't know if we said this or not, but shout out to Serbia.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh yeah. We're about to get into it.
yeah, like that whole first half. I tuned in the game. I texted you. I tuned in the game in the
Yeah.
middle of the first, and I'm lost. I don't understand
Rightfully
why
so. Yeah.
why we are what we are right now.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like as soon as I cut on the TV, everything's just sloppy. We're not switching right. We're giving up offensive rebounds, miscommunications. Like I expect there to be some kinks still. Like everybody's used to having the ball in their hands at this point in the game, or whenever you're down, you look to me. No, there's so many different weapons that they overcompensate for
Yeah.
how talented they really are by looking at one guy, like you mentioned with Steph. So KD, no points in the first half at all. Took him until the fourth quarter just to get going. So it was very, very weird game for Team USA. But you need games like this, especially going into the gold medal game, right?
Oh my goodness. I mean, Serbia's 52% from three in the first half,
Oh my
but
gosh.
to the USA's 47. They only hit one more three than Team USA in the first half. Why? Because Stephen Curry. had like 6 threes at
6 of them.
halftime. But talking more about Serbia and the threes, it's not just that they're making them, it's how they're getting them. I'm screaming at my TV, I'm yelling, I'm saying, stop gambling on Jokic. When you see him in a post up and they give him the ball, Anthony Edwards, when you come weak side baseline to try and steal it, he knows you're coming. He's going to wing it over your head and
Yeah,
find the guy every single time, man.
absolutely. And you played 7 games against this dude
And
in
he
the
was doing it
playoffs.
in those games. You
Yeah.
can't
Like,
gamble on Jokic. Oh,
you should everybody on Team USA's roster should know it. Like, you have to send it late. If you're
yeah,
gonna double, don't show it early because all right, now
exactly.
I know exactly what to do. Like it's Bogdan Bogdanovic in the corner. It's Petro Salver. I hate to disrespect him, mispronounce his name,
Petrovic,
but
maybe. Yeah,
yeah, one of those. I'm sorry, but it was fantastic. Like watching Jokic play is always a treat, whether it's for my team or whether it's not. So
absolutely.
we saw. Think about go back to the 2020 bubble, right? When the Nuggets and the Lakers played in those Western Conference Finals, we saw a bigger Dwight Howard pretty much DM up until the last second where Anthony Davis could be that free safety and jump on things. And we saw the adjustments later on in the third and in the fourth, thankfully, when they finally cut into that double-digit lead. But everybody on the court should know by now. Serbia is going to be the biggest threat to us, and you happen to play them in the semis. So
Whew. Yeah, let's keep it going, right? So
yeah,
I wrote this down and I didn't want to bring it up because I said let's go by quarter. So I'm just gonna touch on it and we'll bring it back up later on the back end.
for sure.
When you surround Jokic with just four snipers, that might be the perfect style of basketball I've ever seen. If you can surround him with four snipers and one-on-one you can't guard him, he's gonna bring you to the post and hit a little floater over you. You send a double, pass out, swing, swing, Bogdanovich open three. That is the most modern type of basketball I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody on the floor can shoot. They all have synergy. They all have chemistry. And Team USA at a certain point, they were like, we can't make one mistake on defense and we will be
yeah.
paying for it in 3 points.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, again, we'll circle back to it, but that's exactly what LeBron was, right? That's how you completely unlocked who LeBron was as a player back in Miami, turning Bosh into that 5 man. Except obviously, it's a lot different when it's a center that is actually a more traditional post up player that can do it all literally. So
Yeah.
it's just Jokic and LeBron, man, just that, like KCP said it about playing with both of them. These computers up there, those are like state of the art.
Yeah.
They process things a lot quicker than the average bear, and we literally saw it again. 5 threes each quarter, except for the fourth. Literally first, second, and third, you hit 15 3 pointers, and each one felt more bone crushing than the next. It's I don't even know how to oscillate some of the information I'm trying to say to you. I'm still trying to calm down here. It's insane.
So to wrap up the first quarter, I wrote down in my notes, I said, who the hell, in all caps, who the hell wants to be a part of history? You're down double digits, right? Like, oh, I'm the body language doctor. I like looking at body language when you're down, when you're up. How are you on the bench? How are
Yeah.
you on the court? Are you still closing out as hard on 3 pointers when you're down 15? And I'll tell you, in the second quarter, it didn't look good. It didn't
No.
look good. But
No.
I got to give props where it's due. Joel Embiid came alive in the second. And I think this is the thing that separates him from Anthony Davis because Joel Embiid, when the three is falling, he does so much for you. And I don't think Anthony Davis's three is that reliable. We saw Bam Adebayo shoot a three in this game too, and it was you could tell he hesitated on it. He didn't feel confident about it. But Embiid, when he's walking into that three, he can catch that three and make it. Your entire offense is different, man.
Yeah, no, that's what makes the offensive repertoire in terms of scoring the basketball the best in the NBA, even over a guy like Jokic, right? I mean, when you know that you have that in your 5 man, and the particular shot fake that you're talking about, I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here. So when he shot faked and drove to the cup past Jokic for
Yeah,
that easy dunk, like that opens up the floor in a whole different way. So
exactly.
like you hit it on the head, and B literally was the game changer partly in this, other than Steph. Like this still is going to be remembered as a Steph game, but let's not get it twisted. All of social media, everybody has been killing Embiid
Yeah,
for all sorts of different reasons, right? He's out of shape, he looks sloppy,
yeah,
shots not falling, whatever it is. All of Paris hates him
yeah,
since
yeah,
for obvious reasons, right? He didn't want to go play for France. So I mean, seeing what he did, this was his best game as well.
yeah.
For him to wake up and kind
This,
of put this away
oh,
against your MVP counterpart,
mhm.
I couldn't ask for a better moment.
Thank you for saying that because this isn't just his like best game of the tournament. This is the best he's played in a high leverage stakes moment, like win or go home elimination game. This was his best
Yeah,
elimination game. And I'm not saying he had a perfect game because he had some sloppy turnovers down the stretch,
absolutely.
and he wasn't a perfect player. However, I mean, for everything people have been saying, he they don't win this game without Joel Embiid doing what he did this game. Second quarter, not too much was happening. Serbia kept that lead. USA threw a big punch, but not much. So let's go to halftime. Well, before we get to halftime, the last thing I'll say about Embiid and AD is that I have people texting me saying, "Jay, why isn't it AD starting this game?" Right? Because you think he guard Jokic. I'm like, I love it. I love AD. We saw what he did the past 2 years when Jokic was, on him. Jokic is regularly putting up 30, 20, 10s on AD. And I love AD. Great defensive player. Jokic is not fearing anybody you put up against him. So let him play someone that can draw him out to the 3-point line like Joel Embiid.
That's actually somebody who's the same size as Jokic. Like
Mm-hmm.
AD's a not your traditional 5 man anyway. He
Yeah.
prefers to play the 4, but he's more of a wiry. Despite him putting on size over the years,
Yeah.
he's still more of like a lanky, KGS kind of big. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just how he's built. Embiid is almost 300 pounds. So
Yeah.
is Jokic. So putting those two freaks of nature in terms of size on one another, and like you said,
Yes.
stretching out the floor, it works a lot better on both sides of the ball for both schemes. So I love like that's why you have to start Embiid in situations like that. Like when I'm not going to jump ahead to the future here, but you'll have to probably do that again for the gold medal game potentially as well.
Yeah. Oh
We'll
my
see.
gosh. That's if people thought he was getting booed now. We'll talk about man. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Let's go to the third quarter, man. Embiid
Right.
opens with a three. And these are all just like my notes from this game. Embiid opens with a three. Bogdan Bogdanovic. You know what? I have a newfound respect for this guy, not only because he's knocking down every three that he took really hard, tough off the dribble shots. He's talking. Did you notice? He's doing Melo's
To
celebration
him.
and looking at
To
Melo
him.
doing it. I'm like, yo, who is this guy? There are some players that just become completely different animals in international play. We've seen
Yeah.
Franz Wagner fit that bill, Dennis Schroeder. You know what?
Eddie
Hell, all
Mills.
of Germany, Patty Mills. Add Bogdan Bogdanovic to that list. He was a demon out there. He was talking trash to LeBron James, saying, dude, I'm here. You don't see that often in a high leverage game like that, man.
Yeah, nah, like, hey, I was waiting to just so we can get to this quarter because this is
Yeah,
when you can tell
this is it.
Serbia had that killer instinct, like,
Yeah,
oh, it's time. It's
yeah,
time to step on the Americans' necks.
yeah,
Like, that's literally the vibe. And I got it all from Bogdan Bogdanovic.
yeah.
Like everybody else on the team is kind of feeding into it. When you could wake Jokic up and get him hype along with you,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
you kind of hit the right buttons. And they had that big 4-point play as well when Derek White
Oh
had
my
that
gosh, yeah.
very
When they hit the 4-point play, I swear I walked in and started working on the thumbnail. The second he hit that 4-point play, I was like, no way.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I kind of skipped ahead a little bit. There's one last thing I want to mention about halftime. I
Yes,
said
sir.
I would pay anything to be a fly on the wall in that Team USA locker room at halftime. Right? You're like down 13. LeBron, Steph, KD, legacies are on the line. Team USA basketball is on the line. Does Steve Kerr say something? Does he just let the players, say whatever? Like, what do you think happened in that locker room, man?
I don't think Steve Kerr really has to says much of anything. Like he already has like one player in Steph Curry who he knows how he's going to operate in those situations, how things are going to be whenever we're down but not out, kind of thing. So I feel like if you're Kerr, you go in the locker room and just kind of let people hash it out. Like you already have probably the best leader in sports history in LeBron, and then you have other guys that have been in tight situations already, maybe outside of Embiid, right? But everybody else has been in big time situations. Anthony Edwards even just experienced his
Yep.
first stressful moment. And then you have KD. You got Devin Booker, who's played in the NBA Finals as well. Tatum is fresh off an NBA title. Like, yeah, I know he didn't play, but there's still like tricks of the trade and nuggets and energy just to feed off of. And
Hmm.
of every single body, every single soul in that locker room is just locked in. Ty Lue, NBA champion. Eric Spoelstra, NBA champion. Mark Few, successful collegiate coach, national champion. So it's there's so many different energies involved in that locker room. Kerr didn't probably have to say too much, but all right, y'all ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right, back to the third quarter, back to Bogdanovich. You can see, I love seeing individual matchups come out of a game like this, right? We see that Bogey is going crazy. What does Team USA do? Drew Holiday, go in there, handle that. Hey, yo, Drew, shut that up. And now you see Drew, like when people talk about Drew Holiday, this is what they mean, right? When he is on you like white on rice, he's not letting Bogdanovich have an inch of
Oh,
space. He's coming around screens, he's fighting and navigating around everything. This is Drew Holiday at his peak. We saw that matchup come out, and we also saw Embiid versus Jokic a little bit in that third quarter. I
yeah.
mean, Jokic was kind of giving it to him, and Embiid started giving it back to him in the fourth. But just talk about that third quarter with Jokic and Embiid a little bit.
Now that's again, this is where the rest of the world gets to see. Like I get that
Yeah,
we crown
yeah,
Jokic the
perfect.
best player in the
Yeah,
NBA, but I need everybody to understand there's not a wide gap, if any, between the two. Those guys are literally neck and neck. Like there's not any give and take between the two. Sure, everybody would take Jokic. I get the stats look great. Like he stuffs the stat sheet, everything. Could pass, dribble, and shoot like he's a guard. He could post up like a center. I get it. The game is sexy. Embiid is a foul merchant, right? And all those other insults that we throw at him. But
yeah,
he averages 35 for a reason. And he's not like an international play. Like when the whistle is a little tight, it's like, yeah, we're gonna let y'all play and do your thing. You saw Embiid adjust to the style of play.
yeah.
And you
He
saw
know
him bang.
that's a great point. He did in the beginning of the tournament. He's hunting for fouls, and you
Yeah.
didn't see that near the end. He's saying, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna adjust. Which Adam Silver, please, if you see this, take out the foul baits because what you saw is that the players will adjust if you make
Yeah,
the right changes to the game. Okay, let's keep on
absolutely.
moving.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you literally witnessed it though.
Yeah,
Embiid is not backing down. And
yeah.
that should tell I know Jokic, 3-time MVP. Congrats, bro. I appreciate you for what you've done for the game.
And we'll get back to Jokic too, but yeah.
I'm gonna just stop there. I'm gonna stop there. We can keep rolling.
So I have Drew versus Bogey. I have Embiid versus Jokic. And then three things in all caps. Four things, actually. Jesus, man. What was I thinking during this time? What is happening in all caps? Four exclamation points. Steph, savior in all caps, because
yeah,
he's the one hitting shots that keep it a single digit game. It goes to 12, back to 9 after a Steph 3. It goes to 13, back to 10 after a Steph 3. Third thing, I said it again because they did it again, Jerry. Stop doubling Nikola Jokic. What's your game plan? How would you guard this guy?
I think the best way to do it is again, I go back to the 2020 situation in the bubble. Like literally, you show late. You
Yeah,
don't show if you show the double team early, you're gonna get picked apart. And it's not just Jokic that's capable of doing that. It's literally any pass first player. LeBron will do the same thing. Chris Paul, when he gets blitzed off of pick and rolls, does the same thing. So in order to really contain a big man that is gonna have his back to the basket and is surveying the floor from the other end, you show late. Like
yeah,
you saw it when Embiid was the primary defender. We seen LeBron or KD. I'm sorry, I forget who it was that stepped in and poke the ball out, at least to have Jokic take a bad shot. That way, no, I can't hit the guy in the corner because, oh, I think he's staying. If you commit late and come to the blind side where he's not paying attention, that's how you try to disrupt him. Now, if he still makes an incredible pass, I mean, the dude throws shit behind his head all the time. Like
yeah.
he's very capable, but you literally show the double team late. You show early, you get killed, and we saw that over and over again.
And for the people in the comments who are going to say, well, here's the answer. This is why you can't show late. There is no answer to Jokic, right? So it's what do you feel most comfortable with? What are you going to live with? And if Jerry is saying, I'm going to live with showing late. And
Yes.
that's completely different than what Anthony Edwards is doing, which is coming baseline right when he touches the ball in the post because he's waiting on that. Okay. Next thing I have, all caps, last one. This is basketball. Late in the third quarter, single digit game. And now we're getting into nut crunch time, right? Less than 15 on the clock, less than 15 for who moves on to the next round. And man, they sit Braun and Steph down. And this is when my body language doctor comes back because they're down double digits.
Yeah.
Steph and Braun are at opposite sides of the bench. They are farthest apart players sitting, and they're both just looking straight. They pan to them both, no emotion on both of their faces. I can't tell you what's going on in their minds, but man, I would love to know.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you're thinking in that late third quarter. because I know the doubt starts creeping in there, and you're like, oh wow, Team USA could actually lose this game.
Hey, you talked about guys being in big moments, playing in big moments like elimination games and stuff. I think we could probably say that these are two of the most decorated players on Team USA, right? Four
Yeah,
championships apiece, multiple time MVPs, like all the All Stars, blah blah blah. These guys know what adversity looks like. They've both been down 3-1 before and came back. I know,
yeah,
I know one happened in the Western
yeah,
Conference Finals, the other
yep.
happened in
That
NBA
happened two
Finals,
weeks
but
apart.
yep. But they know how to operate.
Yeah,
Whenever things seem a little grim, seem a little bleak, these are the two guys, and they know it. Everybody else is looking at us for guidance. Anthony Edwards said, "I'm expecting Steph, LeBron, and KD to take us to gold."
yeah.
So if we're gonna freak out, if we're gonna, act like we don't want to be here, act like we lost the game already, it's over.
Hmm.
Everything falls apart at that point. And kind of to add to this third quarter catastrophe too that I was kind of watching,
Let's get
there
it.
was a there was a possession where they had Serbia had three chances to score, offensive rebound after offensive rebound, and it was pissing me off. I'm screaming at my TV.
Yeah,
I'm getting up
you and I both, man.
like just upset because
Yeah.
why aren't we crashing?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
Jokic is their best rebounders already out there by the 3-point line, but we're not crashing. And Embiid's not going to the hole. He's just watching the ball, watching the guy with the last name that starts with P. I'm sorry to just go get two of those offensive boards. Then the Jokic gets the last one to score. Like the body language on the court was really pissing me off.
Yeah. Shout
But
out to Petrusev. That's what it is.
Petrusev,
Petrusev.
I got you now. I got you. Petrusev. Yeah, nah. Hey, he did his thing. Like he was crashing as the four-man on that team. Really aggressive, really gritty guy. Like you learn something new every day when you watch these international teams play. And now
Absolutely.
I just understand, like, you know what? Not like I didn't know before, but Serbia is just grab your lunch pail, blue collar. Like that's how they were operating. So salute to everybody on that team. I can't say that enough, man. It was a great game. We're not even done yet,
We're
but
not even. Whew. So to end out the third quarter, this is the end of the third, and this is when I think, oh man, it's wraps. I talked about the 4-point play, and I already thought that, but this is when the dagger really set in, and I'm like, I'm thinking about talking points, like Serbia. Where's the state of Team USA basketball after this play? Bam Adebayo catches it in the corner for three, and I have nothing against Bam taking threes, right? But shoot it with confidence. That was the least confident shot I've seen Bam take this entire tournament. He hesitated. He didn't really want to take it, but there's like 5 seconds left in the shot clock. So dang, I got to take the shot. And once that bricked, I was like, oh man, the, the heart's not there anymore. People aren't crashing anymore, right? Like you just said. What happens in the fourth quarter? So here we go, fourth quarter.
yeah,
Here we go, fourth quarter. This is it, guys.
reliving this thing is
Reliving it,
is
right?
stressful.
Guys,
Oh,
if you guys are still watching this, like this is one of like the craziest pods I've done just because the craziest game hopping on right after and just giving like live raw reactions, insane. Fourth quarter though, this is when people always talk about Team USA and everybody on this team's an all-star caliber player. Everyone's an all NBA caliber player. Everyone has max extensions. Everyone's got a shoe deal. Everyone's bagging the baddest hoes. All right. Everyone's everyone on this team is it. Right. But at a certain point, it's a hierarchy that comes out of this. At a certain point, you realize, oh, wait, and we'll get to this later. Jason Tatum hasn't logged a minute in the game. At a certain point, you realize there's no way Halliburton's getting put in this game. At a certain point, you realize, Bam, you're not touching the court anymore. And these are great players. No offense to them. But it comes down to Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra, Mark Few, and Tyronn Lue saying, who do I trust most? And that lineup was Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Drew Holiday, maybe, LeBron James,
Devin Booker,
Devin Booker,
big time.
and Joel Embiid. Those were the guys where they said, you know what? If we lose, we're going to do it with our best players. When you saw that lineup, when you saw Steph, KD, and Braun come out like the Avengers in 2013, what was your first reaction?
I see. Look, I'm lost for words, man. Like again, it's game time. At that point, once those 10 minutes start for the last quarter, of what could just be a letdown of a summer, a letdown of a program if we go out there and we bomb this shit.
Yeah,
If we really just
absolutely.
unravel completely. Like at that point, the margin for error is very, very, very slim.
Yep.
I don't even need to explain to you. It's like from a bald fade to bald. That's how close things are.
Yeah.
Like when like
Yeah.
you couldn't make one mistake. So as soon as the quarter kicks off, I'm thinking in my head, like, I think we need to get KD going.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy.
D
Cause I
Wade said
mean,
the same thing, man.
yeah, exactly. Like, he hit that shot at the end of the third to kind of like, oh, finally, he's on the box score now. Hey, KD has finally joined the party. It was a tough, tough floater that he hit at the end of the third. Going into the fourth quarter, I'm like, I think we need to get this guy going. And we saw the momentum start to shift. LeBron kind of takes over as that de facto point guard, right? Steph being the screener is huge. D Book is, man, I'm still
Crazy.
like you said, this. I've never did a live reaction pod like this.
Like this.
So my energy, we didn't even really have time to rein it in. We're
Yeah.
just here. But you go. Talk to me. What do you
So Embiid, the rebounding troubles continue in the fourth quarter,
they do?
where I'm screaming like just like you at my TV saying, grab a rebound. It's a 5-point game. These next possessions are everything. You have to score. And you know what the biggest point of the game was? I think it might have been Petrusev. We got 10 minutes left. It might have been Petrusev who was like, or who shot the shot, or maybe Dobrich, wide open. LeBron chose not to close out after like the
Yes.
third time. Wide open. He misses it. And Dwayne Wade says knuckleball. It's one of those shots where you're
Yeah.
too wide open. You're a little too wide open. But going back to LeBron and Steph and them. LeBron, man, this is great because LeBron plays chess out there. He's matchup hunting. And seeing it, oh, this is nuts, guys. Seeing Embiid and KD look at Bron like, yo, give me the ball. Like, I want to go ISO. Like, I can do this. And he waves them off and says, Embiid, give Stephen Curry a screen so he can curl and get this ball. That is the highest respect if you are Stephen Curry. When LeBron James is saying, no, Kevin Durant, no, Joel Embiid, no, Devin Booker, Steph, come here, take this mismatch, and I'm going to go off and stand in the corner and watch you have this dance. What was that Stephen Curry fourth quarter like for you, too? Because, oh my God, this is a legacy type of stuff we're seeing right now, Jerry.
I mean, I think if there's two players that we could ever pair up on an NBA team together,
It's got to be them.
it's got like they have chemistry.
Yeah.
From what, all-star games? Like let's be honest here.
Turn me up. Turn me up,
Like
Jerry.
it's so crazy how the two biggest rivals throughout the 2010s battling, literally bleeding for championships, fit the best together probably than any other player that we've ever seen. And they've never even really spent a significant amount of time together other than all-star games. And
Yeah.
obviously now. So like, I mean, hey, LeBron and Steph and KD were all psyched about playing. Literally, as we were covering the Hornets this year, we even talked about it from time to time. Like, the
Yep.
Olympics about to be lit, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they go into training camp for each of their respective teams, the Suns, Lakers, and Warriors. They're all like,
Oh,
should be a
damn.
good time. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yep.
Like, this is what did Kat say? This is what movies are
This
made
is what
of.
movies is made of, though.
Like, I'm being so serious, man.
Of
Like,
course. No,
this
for real. For real.
LeBron having that respect for Steph, man. Like, everybody grew up watching LeBron, including Steph.
Yeah.
So just to kind of get that nod of respect is like, you know what? You can't let this dude down.
Yeah.
How can you?
All right. So Steph going crazy, and Embiid has a big fourth quarter, hitting crunch time middies,
Oh,
just tough middies over Jokic. And you can see Embiid is psyched up, right? French crowd is booing him. You're down. You have people are saying you haven't been in a high stakes game. The guy who's guarding you is supposed to be one of the only three players in the league who's better than you. And you're saying, whew, you can
check this
catch
out.
this bucket.
Check this out.
Check
Like,
this out.
what we talking about? Like, hey, man, like you said, he showed the bag. Stepping into mid-range jumpers off of between the leg hezzy.
Oh,
Like, this is Hakeem 2.0 in
yeah.
terms of a skill set.
And I
It's
think this is the
crazy.
first time where Braun and Steph and them are like, oh yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm okay with him having that ball and calling that ISO. All right, so let's start going through this. the reason why FIBA is amazing, it feels like March Madness. If you're a basketball sicko, I texted that in the group chat earlier.
Yep.
This soccer environment, fourth quarter, you hear the chants like you're watching a Champions League finals game.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I would love next time, Steph, Braun, like, I'm serious. The first question I ask them, whatever big person on that team or anyone on that team comes through, I'm asking them first. I'm like, yo, you've been in some crazy environments. Talk about that one in Paris, in the final. What was that like? Because it was absolutely nerve-wracking. But Serbia ran out of gas, and there is no one better to capitalize off of that than Braun and KD. Here we go, Jerry. This is crunch time. This is last 4 minutes of the game. We're here. You listen to the pod to get to here, to get to this part. Stephen Curry, big turnover. Braun goes out in transition. What do we call that talk? What's that talk called?
That's that big talk,
That's
boy.
that bad talk, man. When you see the locomotive running down the middle of the lane and these Serbians are trying to be like, oh, trying to take a charge, don't take a charge for your own safety. I'm going
And
to
it's in a
come
body
and,
bag.
and this might not be 2008 Braun that'll baptize you in the under the rim, but I'm going to hit you with that, that little jelly every time, right? So nice. And then talk to me about that Kevin Durant ISO, man. Talk to me about it.
That's what got him rolling. Like again, that third quarter, just you got to see it go in, right? That way, when they need me later, psychologically, KD was ready for that fourth quarter. Like, again, 2 points in the third, only point to the game, dropped 7 in the fourth.
Yeah.
7 in the fourth quarter, which is like, all right.
And a tough seven. A
Yeah,
tough
man. Like,
seven.
we're talking about from the 3-point line in, KD's little rock you to sleep,
Yep.
baby. And just go ahead and pull right over the top of you, man.
Yep.
Like these are moments that you just need these type of players to step up.
Exactly.
And again, I go back to what Anthony Edwards said. You need Bron, Steph, and KD to lead you to the gold. Those three are making plays.
All right. Well, halfway there. Let's see if they can get that final. Kind of wrapping up here. There's no better way to see how this went, right? Steph just raining it from three. That's what he's known for. Kevin Durant in clutch time saying, you know what? At a certain point, basketball comes down to who scores the most points. Who's the best scorer? We're seeing Kevin Durant say, you know what? Embiid, who's coming to set a screen, he waved him off and said, I want this dance. Do you know how crazy that is to pull up and give that dude a deep midi? That's an inefficient shot, but it's Kevin Durant taking it. LeBron James doing what LeBron James does. Like you said, triple-double. There's a picture that'll come out of this where LeBron, Steph, and KD are all just screaming at each other.
KD with some clutch defense in the closing moments to force a backcourt. When's the last time you seen a backcourt violation?
Come on.
Oh,
my word. And it was incredible. That picture is going to go in the Louvre, but the last 3 minutes we got here, Jerry, I want to talk about the NBA multiverse. What happens if Team USA loses this game? Because we are rightfully nervous with Noah Lyles saying what he said, right? And then he wins the 100-meter gold, and Team USA is getting dog walked, and LeBron looks out of it. What happens if they lose, man?
Our reputation is different. Like, we don't even make it to the gold medal game, but we end up in the bronze the constellation round to see if we can get a bronze medal. At that point, I don't even want to play anymore.
I don't want to see LeBron have an and one and do the flexing in the consolation game. No, miss me.
Tatum starting. Tatum and Halliburton. No disrespect. No disrespect. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
As LeBron and Steph, I probably mentally check out, like, why are we here?
Exactly.
The whole world is different, or at least our world, as Team USA, the program, everything. Like you said earlier, LeBron and Steph, KD, you guys might need to play an extra 4 years just to get back to this point.
Yeah, because you can't
go out like that.
Absolutely.
No.
All right, man. That was a hell of a recap. USA's got to take on France. It's going to be a home court advantage for France. You best believe we are going to be tuned into that game. I don't care when it is being played.
Yeah.
The resilience from this team was spectacular. I guess the last question I want to ask you is, how many times platinum is this documentary going to go in your household in 10 years?
Hey, assuming that we handle business in the gold medal game, man, I'm probably going to watch this at least once or twice a year, maybe 5 times.
Yeah.
It's going to happen on Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving.
Exactly. This game alone makes up the whole doc. Everything. Oh,
Like,
the way they're gonna frame it with like going up against the big bad of the NBA, Jokic. You got the old guys coming. Oh my gosh.
and
All
you
right,
know what?
guys.
It's
Yeah.
even before you stop, it's going to be even more important too. Defeating Wimby, who's going to be the face of this league.
Exactly. And looking back on it when he was going up against these goats in the last hurrah, oh my
He needs
goodness.
to have an interview process in this thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
You know
We're
what, man?
scheming.
We got some good ammunition to ask these players when the Hornet season rolls around. This is gonna be nice. It's
Absolutely.
gonna be real fun. All right, guys. Jerry, where can they find you?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Jerry Donatien, Donatien. Of course, you can find me on Instagram as well with JK and then the same last name. So just go ahead and give me a follow, man. We're going to start putting out some content. Of course, follow Clutch Points. We do a lot of great stuff over there. Sitting courtside for the pod, too. So,
Hey, there it is. Sitting courtside. You can find him at Clutch Points also. Jerry's one of the best in the game right now.
I
Go,
appreciate that, man.
go show him some love, man. As you can see, his setup is way better than mine. I got blank stuff in my background, but that's the recap for today, man. Like you said, this is complete live raw reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Before this timer runs out, just want to say thanks for listening and keep up with our channel. I mean, we'll be doing a USA France final recap, so we'll see y'all later. Peace.